East Asia monthly finals showed exactly why Crazy Racoon are the best team in the region, and I'm not glazing here. The reason they are the best in the region and maybe even the world is the way they are drafting and adapting in games, which I'll be analysing in this video alongside the way they are played and secured the wins in the grand finals. Without further ado, let's begin. Set 1, Heist on Hot Potato. This map has the middle section which is perfect for Rico, literally made for him, who is actually SKC's first brawler, an excellent pick. Crazy Racoon respond with a Lily and a Nita. Nita is a great tank counter and Lily is a good brawler to be aggressive, chip the save and counter any squishy brawlers or throwers. SKC then pick up BB and Kit, two brawlers who are seriously broken alone, but put together they create an indestructible force. The healing from Kit as he attaches onto BB's back, and BB's attack with her bubbles makes her super strong and makes the duo essentially unkillable. Although CR had Nita as a good tank counter, it's not going to be enough here. Now, most teams would then pick up a Chester, Shelly or some other high DPS brawler, but CR, they're different, which was iterated a lot in the broadcast. They chose a Buzz, a weird pick. Yes, he can stun the duo when they're at the save, but trying to push up the map in a counter attack by himself, he would struggle a lot. Regardless, it was picked and we head into game 1. BB and Kit were mostly aiming to run behind this cover of the left side and just charge at CR's base. Meanwhile, Lily went into the Shadow Realm to go and charge at SKC's safe, and most of the time Lily was more successful at reaching SKC's safe. The reason Lily didn't look as good as she was because her DPS is not as much as BB's with a Kit on her back. Rico and Kit were getting a lot of damage on Crazy Racoon's safe, and Crazy Racoon were losing a lot of individual battles across the map. This led to them conceding a lot of map control, receiving a lot of pressure and a lot of safe damage. Although the Nita was defending well, the Buzz was not, and was trying to be the one who took down the safe single-handedly. Buzz struggles at range, and the Rico was delaying Tensai from making any real attempt on the safe. After a long struggle, SKC won the game pretty reasonably. Crazy Racoon needed to adapt this second game and decided to start with a base raid to test the waters. Lily and Buzz went up against the Rico at SKC's base, whilst BB and Kit faced Nita at Crazy Racoon's base. CR managed to deal more damage and Tensai was able to get SKC safe again and rinse through 2 shields with ease. Nita was defending incredibly, occasionally going down, but with the support of Bruce, they were really putting a stop in SKCalalas' attacks. Eventually, Lily got to the safe again and put CR back level in this first set. The final game, BB decides to go on a solo mission, going down the right lane and charging at Crazy Racoon's safe. Lily once again enters the Shadow Realm to creep onto SKCalalas' safe and deals lots of damage. The reason why CR picked her was not necessarily for damage, it was because of how mobile she was. Being able to avoid the Rico attacks by dodging, using super and even gadgets, it made it really hard for Lily to be taken down, and the longer she was alive the more damage she was dealing. And thanks to this aggression from the Lily, CR were able to dominate and remain high up the map, taking out SKC and their safe relentlessly, and really turning the game on its head. This already shows how CR can adapt in games so quickly and come out on top almost every time. They win the game and gain a set lead in the grand finals. Very well played from Crazy Racoon, and the Buzz pick was slightly questioned earlier, but it really showed itself in this set. Set 2, Hard Rock Mine, probably the best gem grab map for tactical display. Crazy Racoon go first with Rubs, who's an excellent support brawler with his fancy shots, able to break walls and provide buffs to his teammates. SKCalalas pick up the Max Anita. Max is a typical pick for East Asia and makes a pretty good gem carrier and general support brawler, able to use her super to speed up enemies to stop countdowns, and Nita again a great tank counter. Crazy Racoon then pick up the Chester and Stu. Chester, who's been incredible for the last 2 months, is an excellent damage dealer and will become Crazy Racoon's gem carrier, which I personally thought was Ruff's role, but either way works. And then Stu is an aggressive brawler that will help push back the enemy and swipe some gems in the middle. We don't see a lot of Stu nowadays, but it's still an excellent pick in this scenario, as you will see later. SKC final pick Ziggy, which somehow has been left through the ban phase. A really good final pick for SKC, as Ziggy can cause some chaos with his buffed attacks, and his super will help gain so much control in the map. Game 1, it's pretty tight. Both sides are collecting gems one after the other and not much is happening. Stu has been blocked out by the Ziggy on the right side for a lot of this game and is struggling to even get his super, yet alone get involved in the game. Chester and Max are gem carrying and competing for this mid, whilst Ruffs and Nita are fighting one another on this left side and also helping compete for the middle. Because Stu is being shut down, SKC have a slight advantage, but as the Ruffs opens up the map, it also negates the Nita on the left, as she doesn't have the cover or range to be aggressive on the Ruffs. It stays fairly balanced with both Nita and Stu slowly entering the game as it goes on. And once we reach the point of just switching countdowns, we have a brief moment where Ziggy pushes high and Stu comes out to the right side to take him out. This then enables Stu to super towards the middle, forcing the Max to the left with the Nita, where they are pinched by the entire team of Crazy Racoon, which enables them to take down SKCalalas, claim the gems and go on to win Game 1. Game 2, Nita and Ziggy switch lanes. This enables Nita to push high into Crazy Racoon's side of the map and force the Ruffs to deal with her for most of the game. This lets Ziggy stay to the left side and prevents Stu from making any major impact on the game. And since the Chester has lost his support with the Ruffs, he is unable to push up as much, which creates this diagonal line of pressure you'll see where SKC are actually just pushing onto CR and have dominance over the middle. Ziggy's supers are really causing problems for Moya on the Stu, and Chester is unable to compete at range against the Max. Nita causing relentless problems for Ruffs makes it easy for SKC to hold on to the lead comfortably and win the game in the first countdown, with CR struggling to make any form of comeback. CR need to adapt again in Game 3, and it all starts with the Ruffs opening up that top right wall. This stops Nita being a nuisance and enables Ruffs to force her back when she is low on health, and helps CR regain some control in the mid with Ruffs and Chester. Stu is becoming more alive in the game and knocking down some walls and forcing Ziggy back. Gradually, through Chester and Ruffs working together again and getting some takedowns, Crazy Racoon are regaining control of the game, and you'll see that the diagonal line of control is in CR's favour, whilst SKCalalas are cornered. SKC gets back into the game through two Ziggy supers. This forces CR back into their spawn. As the countdown goes, they edge closer to that set win, but Stu is taken down due to the Nita hypercharge and Bruce pressure. Meanwhile, Milky on the Ruffs takes down the Max from behind, and that is the final step, securing the lead for Crazy Racoon. A really clever move from Milky, who digs CR out of danger and potentially stopping SKC winning this set. Very well played matchup for Crazy Racoon through the Ziggy, which was causing immense problems and just pressure, and the Stu, who was struggling to get involved for most of the game. They managed to adapt to the situation really well and were able to find the win from a losing position. Set 3 knockout on Belle's Rock. SKC have a good draft with Pierce, Ziggy and Ollie. Pierce and Ziggy will hold down those lanes, and Ollie will apply the pressure down the middle and force Crazy Racoon back. Ollie also works really well with his gadget and super combo in the late game. Crazy Racoon go with the Byron and Rico for the lane matchup, and final pick a Tick to put up a counter to Ziggy, having more range and some more damage output to handle Ollie too. Game 1, we have Rico and Tick against Ziggy and Ollie on one side, and also Byron against Pierce on the other. It's kind of funny that we have like 2 games going on, but the main one here is the Rico Tick against Ollie Ziggy. Despite the first round victory going Crazy Racoon's way, it's really hard for them to fight up against the Ollie and Ziggy, who are applying immense pressure and just seem to be winning in the late game again and again. Ollie's utility is making it really hard for the Tick and Rico to push up without being taken down, and they just cannot put up a fight and unfortunately lose the first game. And game 2, it's the same again. We do have a clever play from Crazy Racoon, who leave the Ollie on the back and take down Ziggy, who's been left vulnerable, which helps them win round 1. But SKC learn their lesson and dominate the rest of the rounds to win game 2. And that's the third set of this grand finals. When trying to analyze this game, I struggled, as you can tell from how little I've spoken about it. The thing is, SKC, they really deserve to win this one because of a clever Ollie pick. However, Crazy Racoon were close to winning this set. There were 2 opportunities in both games that would have won them 2 rounds, and therefore they would have won the set potentially, but they were really unfortunate not to. I think the way Crazy Racoon responded to SKC's draft was excellent, and I personally don't know what they could have done better. The Rico is good for the bouncing shots and stopping the Ollie rushing forwards. Byron holds back the Pierce and Tick outranges the Ziggy, which is really important here. But at the end of the day, SKC, they just had the better draft, and they just played really well, really utilizing those Ollie utilities. So well played to SKC, and this gave them a little motivation into the final set. So for this final set of this East Asia Grand Finals, we are on Hideout Bounty. Now, to anyone who watched this set live, you were probably in absolute awe of what happened here. And some people have already asked me to just really look into this set. So let's start with the drafts. Gene for Crazy Racoon, a great brawler that has lots of range, and of course his super being able to pull in the enemy. Byron and RT for SKC are excellent choices for long range brawlers, providing healing with Byron and close up damage in case Crazy Racoon pick up an aggressive brawler. Crazy Racoon final pick Max and Brock. Max is a great support brawler, especially with the speed, and Brock will help open up the map. And then we have the star of the show, Bull. Now, the plan for SKCalalas, or what I think was the plan, was to just put all their faith into the Bull. The RT would just be providing suppressive fire on this right side. The Byron would be healing the Bull, who would be charging at Crazy Racoon relentlessly, trying to get as many team wipes as possible. Essentially a cheese strat. Crazy Racoon's strategy was to hold control mostly. The Brock would open up the map, making it easier for the Gene to deal that chip damage with his spread attack and just annoy the enemy, whilst Max also applied chip damage, some pressure, and also the super to get any team wipes quickly and get out of danger quickly. Now, I don't know what anyone else thought, but I was really perplexed by this draft. Bull on this map is essentially a death wish on paper, with no range, easy to hit with Crazy Racoon's comp, and the fact you are facing Crazy Racoon, surely the Bull would be ripped to shreds. And the first game is an argument to show why it wouldn't be. The game starts with Max and Bull racing for the blue star, and although Tensai on the Max collects the blue star, he lets Bull charge his super, and that is where the demolition begins. He takes down Tensai, gets pulled by Moya, who then dies, and then escapes with an incredible lead within the first 20 seconds. Later on, they do get a gene pull and take down the Bull, but because of the quick respawn in Bounty, it means the Bull can charge back up the map and take down the rest of Crazy Racoon before ending the game at 20-12 with 30 seconds left on the clock. It doesn't sound like a lot, but IP Shu, or at least I think that's how you pronounce his name, I'm so sorry if it's not, has managed to end the game single-handedly with Bull within 75% of the game's actual time, which is kind of insane. So at this point, I think a lot of us were thinking SKC were guaranteed to win this and take this to a set 5. Me? Hell no. That was my reaction, just no. Yes, it was an incredible Bull gameplay masterclass by IP Shu, but the rest of the game was all Crazy Racoon. The other members of SKC were easily countered by Crazy Racoon. The pulls from the Gene were clearly able to stop the Bull, and the Max's super and Gene's gadget were able to defend themselves when the bulldozer attacks came in. And Brock can also open up the walls to make it easier to hit the Bull, and that is just what happened in the next game. The Bull did have a few chances in the next 2 games, but Crazy Racoon adapted to IP Shu. Using the strategies mentioned earlier, they managed to avoid the Bull almost every occasion, with a few close calls. Crazy Racoon dominated the game by focusing the RT on the right side, opening up the map that made escaping and handling the Bull attacks easier, and also just team-wiped SKC a few times, showing that the rest of the team struggled without the protection of the Bull at the front line. And when the Bull was pulled, Crazy Racoon were able to take him down easily as a team, as they had no other threat from the RT or Byron, who were both on the back line or just healing the Bull. Game 3 was the same. Open the walls, don't feed the Bull, and pull him in when he was low. There was a good moment from SKC where Crazy Racoon pulled the RT legs and the Bull charged at the same time, but the Max's super really helped them escape and prevent them losing the lead in that situation. Now there was that one time towards the end where there was no gene pool, no max super available until the last second, but by that point Crazy Racoon were punished by the Bull, who was able to get the team wipe. But Crazy Racoon came fighting back and pinched the RT, who for some reason was here and not behind the wall, and because of this RT threw the game for SKCalalas and essentially just handed the crown to Crazy Racoon, making them back-to-back champions of East Asia again. By the way, funnily enough, in the first game we had a very similar incident where the Brock did the same thing, came in front of the wall instead of behind, so I guess it evens up now. Either way, it was an incredible last set performance and an MVP performance by IP Shoot on the Bull, but also Milker on the Brock, who got the same number of kills. It was just an incredible game. Overall, there is no denying that Crazy Racoon were dominant. It never felt too one-sided at any one point if we ignore knockout for a second. Yes, Crazy Racoon lost a game in each set, but they are comeback kings. Now I don't know the stat exactly, but I'm fairly confident in saying that in every set that this roster has won, they have always lost a game too. In knockout they were outdrafted and outsmarted, which is, well, fair enough from SKC, but in Heist, Gem Crab and Bounty they were the ones outdrafting, outsmarting, and just overall performing out of their minds using their talent, mechanics and game knowledge. An incredible display from Crazy Racoon. Now for SKCalalas, they should not be upset at all. I'm actually really impressed and proud of them. Not only have they beaten Zeta Division to get to the finals, they managed to win 5 of the 10 games they played against Crazy Racoon. Not many teams can say they have done that, and their drafting and game knowledge was incredible to watch throughout all 3 games. A lot of people were hyping up IP Shoe beforehand, and now I can see why. I think I need to rewatch the game just to see how well he played, because he might become the next Tensai in East Asia. And if you want to see a video on that, then let me know in the comments below. Also, same with that Zeta versus SKC analysis, let me know in the comments, and also leave a like and subscribe. But come the summer sprint after Brawl Cup, SKC might be probably on my favourites, only second to Crazy Racoon for World Finals qualification. I think if they remain consistent, they could go really far in the summer sprint. And as long as they don't face Crazy Racoon on their side of the bracket, they might be able to just make World Finals qualification. And that is my analysis of Crazy Racoon versus SKCalalas. If I said that right at all in this video, I don't know. Same with IP Shoot.